Care Services, because there's no place like home.
Good morning and welcome once again to Limitless Health Horizons here on Legends 100.3. Happy South Florida Saturday. Mike McGann with you as I always am. And this program, of course, is brought to you by Horizon Care Services, providing excellence in private duty home care. And I mean, even way beyond that. We're going to talk a bit about that. Now, you can learn a lot more about Horizon Care Services by checking out their website, which is pretty straightforward. It's horizoncareservices.com, horizoncareservices.com, or give them a call, 561-776-7757, where the odds are someone's actually going to answer the phone. And if they don't, you will get a call back really quickly. I know that to be the case because I see some of those calls roll right over to the owner and founder of Horizon Care Services, even right here in the radio studio. And I'm talking about my dear friend, Andrea Albertini. How are you, Andrea?
I am wonderful. Good morning and happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in once again.
It is great to be here with you, as always. And I love the look. You've got sort of a tiara going on today.
Yeah, I just found this on the desk at the studio today, and it's purple. And I don't know who left it here, but I'm taking it home and give it to my mom.
I think they left it for you.
She loves the purple.
It looks good on you.
You think, right?
You should be having a crown all the time.
I agree.
I think we all know this.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I look cute. I think.
When do you not?
Oh, thank you,
I
Mike.
love it. But that's, we have a lot of fun on this program. And
Yes,
a
we
lot
do.
of that is because of the fact that Andrea is all heart. Like, Andrea feels things very, very deeply. And that's part of the reason that you created Horizon Care Services in the first place, isn't it?
Yes, and actually, I was talking to someone today who's actually is one of our guests, that my job is not just finding you a private duty caregiver or a community for you to move your mom or dad in, or just to provide mobile physician services
Sure.
to your home. It's about servicing the community. Right? And it's anything and everything that you need, and it's possible. Anything that I can do for you. So there's many days that I spend just doing that.
Right.
Just helping other people and not making a dime. But I love it.
That's
I
how
love
you do it.
every bit of it.
Yeah.
And that's how I have built my business, and being a very strong member of this community in the healthcare industry.
Sure. And beyond. I mean, you and I met, 14 years ago now, just because we both talked to strangers having coffee. And I mean, before Legends Radio was even a thing.
Exactly.
And, we kind of picked up on that about each other, that sense of being empathic and doing our best for people who need it. And when it comes to care, Horizon Care Services really does provide the very best in-home care. And last week you made a great comment about there are people that come to you or are just hearing about home care, and they've thought, well, I can't take care of mom anymore, or I can't take care of my husband or wife anymore. Time to put them in a home. And they didn't even realize home care was actually a thing.
Exactly.
And that's what you do, and you do so well. Now, there's a good reason to go through you for this, though. Because home care, while it works very well for an awful lot of people, and there's nothing quite like aging in place, there's always people, friends, family, who can say, I'll take care of that person, and also people that are less scrupulous than that out there.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a bit about that, because that's it's a big risk these days.
It's a big risk. You and I discussed this when my husband, a lot of you guys know that my husband passed away 5 months ago.
Yes.
And, I became a caregiver. Even though I am in this business for 40 years, we provide care management services, nurse navigators, everything that we provide at home. Even though I had the support from me and all of my employees, it was very difficult to become a caregiver.
Right.
And we have options, and the option for me was to keep them home. However, there are a lot of people who need the socialization.
A lot.
And there's a lot of people who doesn't do well at home.
Sure.
And we know that.
Oh, very
or
true.
maybe they can't afford to pay for 24-hour care.
Sure.
And a lot of times they strive when they move into an assisted living
It does
or an
happen.
independent living.
It really does happen.
And it really happens because they are social butterflies.
Sure.
So I'm here to help any family member to make the right decision. And there are times that people will call me and say, hey, I need home care for my mom. Tell me a little bit about your mom. Tell me a little bit about your dad. And I'll say, I'm going to speak from my heart based on what you're telling me about your mom or your dad. I would consider finding a nice community. I think they'll probably be better there.
Sure. It makes sense. Like, look, my mother did really well at home. Now, granted, it drove us a little crazy because we all pulled we can handle this. She was a nurse. We were raised around it. We all figured we knew what we were doing. And it was okay for a little bit. But then trying to live our own lives and do all this, even though there were 5 kids in my family, it got very difficult.
Yeah.
So we brought in 24/7 home care. And that was an incredible decision. It worked very best for Mom. She was a social butterfly in her way, but she loved her home. She and my father built that home. That was going to be her spot. And she really thrived and built incredibly close connections with her caregivers, to the point that after she passed, my siblings and I were at our house kind of talking about dividing things up. And it was we all get along well, so there was no stress involved. It was more reminiscing. And one of the nurses came and knocked on the door and came in and just said, I don't know where to be because I really miss her. And just hung out with us for the rest of the day.
Oh, they become family.
They became family. It was an amazing relationship to see, and it worked beautifully for my mother. Works beautifully for a whole lot of people being in their home, on their turf. It's wonderful with the right care, the right people that are vetted and are safe to have in your home, like the caretakers from Horizon. But there are also a lot of people who say, I need these planned out activities. I want to make sure there's a game room. I want to make sure there's entertainment coming in. I like having this chef and these different meal plans and the outings and all these other things. And you get other cases, things like memory care, for instance.
Right.
That's a very specialized kind of
Very
care.
much so.
And again, there are people who do well in the home in that. But again, a lot of times it does take a facility really to get the kind of result in proper care for them.
Yes, and actually, we have done very, very well with dementia care at home.
Yes, you have. Your people are
very
the best.
good. Okay, my caregivers are trained in Alzheimer's, dementia, everything. However, I'll be honest, there are many times when not even any caregivers can handle anymore.
Sure, I guess
so. So sometimes we do call the family and say, "Listen, this is what's going on with your mom. This is what's going on with your dad. I love the continuing care for them. I just feel that at this point, it's just." It gets very advanced.
Sure.
Where sometimes it's not safe.
Right.
So I'm going to lose that business, right? I'm going to lose that revenue. But to me, it doesn't matter. I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. I care about doing the right thing, not only, for the patient itself, because it gets to the point that, there's nothing you can do. You can have doctors there every week. You can change medication. You can do everything, but they have to be on more of a closing setting, right?
Yes, I agree.
On a more safe setting. And so that's when we recommend, the best community. Tell me the area you want to be. Tell me how big the facility you want it to be for your mom.
Right.
Tell me how much you want to spend per month, what's your budget. And we help the family with that. And we also help them move.
Yes.
We also the caregivers stay with them for a few days just to get them acclimated into the new community.
Tratransitions are difficult. You add dementia to it, and it's that much more challenging.
Yeah.
They need that kind of a familiar face there through it. And that's Elder Care Finders, which is kind of a separate company that you have. It's sort of under Horizon, but it's one you own. Yeah. And it's one you don't make any money off of. This is a service that you provide.
It's provided for free.
Yes.
In the facility are the one who pay us to find, to place the client there.
Right.
But it's a facility the client doesn't pay us.
Right. It works out very well. And you can learn more about that, by the way, with eldercarefinders.com or 561-850-0435. Now, we're going to talk more about assisted living and memory care. And we have a very, very cool guest that we're going to discuss this with. But before we get there, one thing I do want to touch on, because we talked about it at the very beginning of the show, and I think you'd mentioned that there were still some things that you'd run across recently about this, is the mistake of hiring someone to come into your home who is not vetted, who may have an ulterior motive here.
Well, this has been happening a lot. And where people hire somebody that is, so-and-so took care of my mom, so-and-so took care of my dad. Or, you hire somebody that you don't know to come into your home. It takes a leap of faith.
Big time.
Okay, for you to bring somebody to your home.
You did it. You own the agency.
Exactly.
And it took a leap of faith for you to even have your caregivers in your home.
And you got to remember, 60% of my caregivers has been with me for 21
years.
Day one.
You know them very well.
Very well.
But there is still that moment of, wait, this is my place.
This is my home now. So now, it's just, and it was hard for me because I needed to go to sleep. And she's out there on a couch with my husband all night long because he couldn't make it to the bed. So he slept in a sit lift chair. But one of the things that I want to mention to the listeners, if you ever need private duty home care, if you ever need a need, please go to an agency. Sometimes people think that it's cheaper for you to hire somebody off the street. Please don't do that. They may become cheaper for you in the beginning. And the next thing you know, you got to remember, if they can come, you're alone. You're not taken care of. That's number one. True. And next thing you know, they're going to be $30 an hour, $35, $45, $65 an hour, because guess what? They think they got you. Yeah. Okay. And then you don't have anybody else, and you don't know about private duty. You don't know who to call. So just please, just please hire an agency. If you can afford their rates, call around, find out what's the best price for you. But again, you get what you pay for as well. So you have to be very careful when you're choosing, an agency. Remember, you take a leap of faith.
You really do. And even beyond the differences in upfront cost, I mean, if it's a couple of bucks cheaper to bring somebody down the street, it's not going to be when you have to pay the attorney's fees to try to get your estate back after your loved one was convinced to sign it away. And that's a real story.
It's a real story.
Actually happen.
Yep.
That's why Horizon is the place to go for home care services, vetted, trusted, continuity of care, people who lead by heart, because that's where it comes from you, Andrea. And learn more about it. Check it out. Head to horizoncareservices.com. And, they do business honestly. They do everything above board. It's all very transparent. Horizoncareservices.com, 561-776-7757. Excellence in private duty home care, the Nurse Navigator program.
I know you love that.
Mobile,
I love that.
My mom was a nurse, so you know how much I love that. Medication management alone was amazing.
It's amazing. It can be amazing.
I had to deal with that for my mom, Yeah. All of those things done right, done by people that you really can trust and build real family type relationships with your loved ones. And that sounds like a catchphrase, but it's not. It's actually how it works out. The right caregiver, they're going to find the right one. If you have to go through a few, they'll get there. They're all great, but different people get along differently. Horizon understands that.
Exactly.
So you're going to end up with the right caretaker for your loved one in your home, somebody you can trust. Just make sure you go through the right channels on it, because otherwise lifetimes of work, lifetimes of love and trust can be destroyed by somebody who comes off the street with bad intentions.
And it happened again last week, and it happened again this week.
Again?
It happens. I would say 2 or 3 times a week. Really? I get a phone call, usually is from a trustee, an attorney who has a client that, that they had to remove the caregiver. I mean, it's horrible, and it happens all the time.
I don't like to think about it, but
so
there it is.
We need to be careful. The other thing that we do is with this show is, Mike, that I love, is bringing other providers. Yes, we got other providers and other people who actually partner with Horizon Care Services to be the best and to do the best in senior care.
Oh, yes. And boy, do we have somebody, in that case, somebody with a few black belts in it.
Oh, yes, for sure. Oh, yes, for sure.
We were talking earlier about the need sometimes to go into facilities for people who need that socialization, need that kind of a setting. Some people do thrive more in that setting than at home.
Exactly.
And, well, that's where Elder Care Finders comes in, because you know that, eldercarefinders.com. And we've got somebody with us today that I just love. The background is amazing. She's just getting to sit here with you for this time. Her energy reminds me a lot of my mom, who was a nurse, a caregiver, but somebody unstoppable when it came to doing the right thing. Our guest, and I love the name, is Gerri Good. Literally,
isn't that awesome?
Gerri Good. It is awesome. Right? It's way more than good.
And she's a registered nurse.
Oh, an RN like my mom.
I know.
I love it.
I know.
So Gerri Good is the executive director of the Harrison of Stuart Assisted Living and Memory Care. Now, you can learn more about the Harrison of Stuart by heading on over to harrisonstuart.com, or calling 772-261-2320. Gerri, welcome. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me here today. I'm really excited to talk about what we have to offer and how we partner with Horizon. So I'm happy to answer questions and just talk a little bit about what we can do. Because you're right, private care is great. Yes. I have a dear friend who her dad is not doing well, has memory care, has Parkinson's. They bring in private care in because the mother doesn't want him to go. And that's okay for them.
Sure.
But that isn't always the case, right?
not, yeah.
And just simply, sometimes they don't have a supportive family like you had to take care of your mom.
So true.
Or they have a family member that thinks they can do it and wants to bring in private care. And then
boy,
they
does that
come.
happen.
I had one this week that came in and said she had lived there for a while, took mom home, didn't think she wanted to take care of mom out of assisted living, brought her home. And I said, well, why are you back now? She goes, I can't do it anymore.
And boy, it's so common.
Absolutely, because it's exhausting.
It is.
And you want to have a relationship with your loved one to the end, and not that kind of relationship that, you have to take care of them. You have to do personal care for them or watch them suffer.
Wow. Yeah. The mental, emotional devastation of that when those lines get blurred and then disappear, and what's your role?
Right.
Absolutely. That's emotionally devastating.
You become the caretaker, not the son, caretaker, not the daughter,
And it's also hard on the parent who
Right.
was your caretaker, and all of a sudden the positions have switched.
And the other thing is, I think, really big about living in a community, we call them. We don't
Yes.
call them facilities.
Right.
In our community is that we do have the socialization because, if you look at statistics for depression, I think 3 out of 4 people over the age of 65 now are diagnosed with depression.
Yes.
They're also diagnosing psychiatric situations that used to be, if you were over 40, you couldn't be bipolar. Well, guess what? They're diagnosing people over 40 now
happens.
and even longer. So there are situations where it's not appropriate for them to be in a home, or they, like you said before, they can't afford to have private care 24 hours a day.
Sure.
And if you don't have them there 24 hours a day, it's exhausting. Right?
It is.
That's exactly
Of course,
it.
I've been there.
Well, you just think about like right now, we have hurricane warnings, right?
Sure.
We're prepared for a hurricane.
Absolutely.
We have an emergency management plan approved by the state. We have everything you need. You don't have to worry about your loved one.
And that's a powerful thing. Very,
Don't have to
very
worry
much.
if your caregivers are going to show up. If mom lives alone, you know that things are going to be
Right.
there. Because I won't let anybody out the door if they work for me. You ain't leaving, okay?
Gotcha.
You're here. Bring your clothes with you. Bring a change of clothes
Boy, it
because we're
sounds
here
like-
for 3 days.
Sounds like me in broadcasting, but that's what it is. I mean,
Right.
We are, because I'm considered essential personnel for that kind of thing,
Right.
right? Because I've got to be on the air, making sure that information's getting out.
Right.
And you and your staff, Gerri, are essential personnel.
Right.
They need to be there for the people who need them, and they're always going to be there in a community.
Right.
Now, I'm looking at the picture on the front of the brochure, and I tell you, I want to sit on that bench outside of that fountain and read.
It's beautiful.
It really is. It's a gorgeous setting.
It's about, I think, a little over 3 years old.
Okay.
And the company I work for that owns this is Segura Senior Living. Just recently took over the contract with this company, with this property. It's really owned by Covenant Group. And just July 8th. And so I've only been there for 4 weeks. And the reason that I went there is because I worked for one company for 24 years.
Right.
And I just got tired of it being financially driven.
Sure.
And not about the resident.
And that's a
This
I get
company is put the resident first.
put it first, huh?
And I've
'Cause
always
that
said
balance
that.
a lot, and it's wonderful to hear there's a place that's not. And
Absolutely.
Another thing that hits me about this, Gerri, is that you moved on to this. You moved on to the Harrison of Stuart as a matter of conscience.
Absolutely.
Why is it so important to you?
Because I want to make sure there's somebody there to take care of me when I'm in that assisted living, that
there
my
you go.
sons are going to lock me up in memory care someday. But also I think that I want to see the residents being taken care of. They have a need. People are paying a lot of money to do this.
Sure.
We have an obligation
Yes.
to provide that care to them. And I feel that this company and this property and the people that work there are going to do that. And that's what's important to me. She said, I'm a nurse. I'm a
Yes.
nurse first. So I grew up in hospital
Once you get
administration.
that doesn't change.
No,
That's
it doesn't.
'cause that's in
And
your blood, that's
I
in your
will
soul.
never let that go.
Never.
And every time something happens at I'm out, everybody's like, Gerri, come in. I'm like, I'm really not a real nurse anymore. I don't carry gloves, but I figure it out.
You're still a nurse at heart.
I know.
Doesn't
It's
go
hard.
away.
It doesn't go away.
If I ever retire, I'll still be entertaining any restaurant I eat at.
Oh, yeah. You'll be singing at the piano in
I
the
will.
lobby
It's how it
at Harrison and Stuart. You'll be in the lobby singing.
That might happen next week, Gerri. But looking at this here, and the piano in the lobby, huh? Mm-hmm. Let's talk a bit because I love redefining senior care by providing a vibrant lifestyle. Let's talk a bit about what vibrant lifestyle means.
What vibrant lifestyle means is that it's not just about activities, it's about making personalized programming to meet the needs of the residents that live there then, not live there before. Yes, we probably still do bingo quite a bit because they love it.
Hey, bingo's fun.
But we also have a bar in our dining room. We have happy hour every day at 4:00. We have music several times a week to entertain. It's just a different environment because it was also a purposely built community. There are a lot of places that were taken over or built like 50 years ago.
Right.
This community was purposely built, and it's got some of the bells and whistles that we, as what we call the adult influencer, are looking for to place our parent.
I love it.
To be safe.
I'm looking here and I'm seeing the courtyard with the fire pit in it, and just what a wonderful gathering place that would be for some of the residents there, some of their families when they come. It looks to me like you can do some really great family visits here.
Absolutely. We have a lot of common areas where we can gather and you don't have to stay in the room. The rooms we have 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom suites, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. And in memory care, we have 1 bedroom and companion suites. But we don't want people staying in their room.
Sure.
Because they don't come there for that. But if that's what they choose, that's what they can choose. When I moved my dad into assisted living, so I started in assisted living in Massachusetts. When I moved my dad in, they'd come up to me and say, "Your dad won't come down to any activities." I said, "He sat on the couch every day after work for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, that's his thing.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
He's not going to come. He comes to socialize, but he comes out for his meals. So we see everybody at the mealtime, and somebody can say, "Hey, Miss Good doesn't look very good today.
Sure.
What's going on with her?" And it doesn't matter whether it's the wait staff or the housekeeper. They bring those issues to management so we can then intervene with services like maybe they need private care.
Sure.
Maybe they need to have a nurse practitioner come in and see them and connect with physicians. And it's not a be-all and end-all. I think it's a collaboration of all of the good stuff that's out there and available.
And the other thing that I want to mention, too, that's very important,
Yes.
just because you are an assisted living facility, doesn't mean you can't go to the theater. You can go get your hair done or your nails done someplace
Right,
else.
exactly.
You
We
are
have
not prisoner. That's your community.
Yeah, we have a full-service beauty salon. They
Right,
do
but-
nails, toes, podiatry, haircuts, dyes. We have a lot of people that haven't gone white,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I see purple from time
But
to time.
if they don't, what I'm just saying is if they don't, they can still go out and do whatever they
Right,
want
there
to
are
do.
still outings. There are ways they can be
there's
part of the community as
even
well.
though they provide everything in-house, they can still go out if they want to. They can still go to the theater if they want to. They
I
can
have one
still
lady
travel.
I have a lady that's 94 that goes to Manjas every night.
See, there you go, right?
Yeah.
I love it because it's a community that is also functioning inside the greater community.
Right. Exactly.
And that's very nice. It's like little Russian dolls, communities within communities. But I love the whole thing with that. And also, it's funny, I'm thinking about that because there are people who just, all their socialization was around the dinner table. And they still look forward to that. But then they have their time. Mm-hmm. You get somebody like me, I'm either on stage or on my balcony. It takes a little bit of both for somebody like me. Everybody's different. But the nice thing about the Harrison at Stuart is that, there are as many ways to customize this as there are needs for customization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, today, just for example, today, as I was walking around the community, we had a trivia game going on in one of our rooms, and upstairs they were doing painting, and they also do paint and sip. So,
Oh, yeah.
apparently my community really likes to drink. So
Okay.
just so you know, the happy hour is very
That's
full.
awesome.
Popular
We have
happy
a
hour.
bar.
Cute.
Yeah, they really like
That's
it.
so sweet. That's cute.
We make sure that nobody drinks so much that they're falling and breaking a hip, mind
Sure.
you. But, we want to make sure that people
Have a
maintain
little
their
fun.
lifestyle,
Sure.
Just because you're older doesn't mean you're dead.
No, exactly.
Okay? You still
It
have
is a
value.
lifestyle,
You
of
still have
course.
value to add, and that's what you want to tap into, is that value that people bring to you.
And it's aging in place is wonderful if you do the right choice for yourself
Sure.
or for your loved ones.
Absolutely.
I think in the end, you provide a lot of experiences for people that they need to have.
Absolutely.
And the same thing happens in home care. Mm-hmm. The experience is the right one for that individual who needs it. There's no cookie cutter. You can't just look and say, you're good for home care, you're good for a community, right?
Right.
And then even within that, it's just there's always a different way to tweak it and make it right for that individual human being.
And I think that's where Andrea and I agreed, not to cut you off, but like what we both believe in is that if we're not the right fit or
Right.
the right answer, we'll help you find the right answer.
You'll find the right answer.
Because that's what it's all about.
And
Exactly.
in the end, we've moved so far away from that. And to hear the commitment to that from both of you, that speaks a lot to things heading in the right direction with this, and the two of you making sure things are headed in the right direction. I don't know how you, Andrea, just find like the perfect partners, but you do.
I do. At the end of the day, the only thing I have is my name, my reputation, and the things that I have done to give back to this community. And I want to be associated with the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, certainly what you're doing, the Harrison of Stuart Assisted Living and Memory Care, redefining senior care by providing a vibrant lifestyle. The options are incredible. The place it's absolutely beautiful. And Gerri Good, executive director, and she certainly runs it all from her heart, which to me is the big thing. It's about the people.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
That's it. You went there as a matter of conscience. Mm-hmm. Andrea does business the way she does business because, as we say all the time, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror the next day. Mm-hmm. Harrison of Stuart, 772-261-2320 or harrisonstewart.com. And of course, for Horizon Care Services, you want to make sure if home care is the right option for you, you want to make sure you get the right people for it. We talked earlier about why hiring somebody from the streets or the one that may have done well with Aunt Betty and you're not so sure about it. You need the right option for that, the right people involved because they're coming into your home. To learn more about all of it, reach out to Horizon Care Services today. HorizonCareServices.com, HorizonCareServices.com, or you can call 561-776-7757, 561-776-7757. Andrea Albertini, we say Horizon Care Services provides excellence in private duty home care and beyond. And that beyond, it's like expanding at the same rate the universe is.
I know, that's what everybody says. What are you going to do now? So I walked in today and Rebecca said, I think we're going to start a pediatric program at home. We're going to do a mobile physician for peds.
Okay. It's a great idea.
Okay. I think we really need that. I interviewed a doctor this morning. It would be great. Okay.
It's a brilliant idea.
So I guess I'm doing that.
Both spectrums.
Yeah. And don't forget, you got to tune in the following Saturday because I have an incredible guest coming in who's a physician.
Okay.
And he has such amazing information about early detection on Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow. And that's wow.
And guess what? I just tested myself too last week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be 60 this year.
Okay.
I'm just in case if I have it.
Did you pass?
I don't know. I didn't get the results yet.
We'll talk about the results later.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
We'll do the reveal on the air.
Yes.
Hey, I've had people, James Chaffee,
I
wonderful
love
attorney
him.
that we love so much.
He is an incredible elder law attorney.
Guy, wonderful. He got engaged live on the air on my radio show.
We're going to see each other this week.
Oh, I love him. Please,
I love him.
If Anne's there, give them my love. I still have pictures of him dropping to one knee right in that seat you were in, Gerri. He got up, dropped down, and proposed on my radio show live.
That's pretty cool.
It was a beautiful moment. Then Connie Francis called on the first break to congratulate them because, hi, Connie. She's friends with his fiance. And beautiful moments.
And she sings too.
Oh, Anne?
I want to know
she's
next.
Awesome.
I know she's awesome. I'm going to ask him next time she's singing. I want to.
Yeah. She'll pop up. And that's it. Like we're all friends.
Yes.
This. We care about each other. We care about the human beings involved in this. And that's why Horizon has the reputation it has. 561-776-7757, HorizonCareServices.com. Mike McGann, Andrea Albertini, Gerri Good, great to meet you today.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Always. And thank you for being with us on Limitless Health Horizons. Lots more legendary programming on the way.
Horizon Care Services, because there's no place like home.